All right, everyone, welcome back again to Decoding with Cody. And in this video, we're going to dive into the synchronicities between King Charles III and his reign, which started, as most of you guys probably already know, his mother died last year on September 8th, and he became the queen, or he became the king of England. Now, we're also heading into a dragon year in 2024, which is what I'm going to present in this video, is why I believe that all these fires are starting. And I'm going to compare the Maui fires to the coronation of King Charles and show you that King Charles is all to do with the dragon, and how the Hawaii fires are also connected to King Charles and the dragon year. Now, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because King Charles was the Prince of Wales. And if we take a look at the flag of Wales, before he was king, he was the Prince of Wales. And if you take a look at the flag of Wales, you're going to see it has a big dragon right on it. And so this is your first clue, guys. What's the chances that he was the Prince of Wales for so many years, and the Wales flag has the dragon right on it? Now, the current Wales flag with the dragon and the green and white background was adopted in 1959. Well, this is a huge year connected to the Hawaii fires, because if you look into the the day that Hawaii became a state, you're going to see that Hawaii became the 50th state in 1959. This was the same year that Wales adopted the flag with the dragon. Okay. Now, another deep connection to this. So I want you guys to remember the number 19 and the 59. Okay. So the year that the Wales flag with the dragon was adopted, 59, right? And the year that Hawaii, who was just set on fire, was also 59. Okay. And this is going to be the number that's going to tie all of this together. But before I get into the numbers, let's take a look at the Hawaiian flag. And you're going to see that the Hawaiian flag has the British flag right on it. And remember, guys, not only were we having fires in Hawaii, we also had fires recently in British Columbia, which again goes back to British. And this is also the British flag on the Hawaiian flag. Okay. But I want you guys to notice that one of the military flags for the Kingdom of Wales essentially has the same type of design as the Hawaiian flag. Notice that the Wales ensign flag, this is kind of like the flag they use for naval operations. Notice that the Wales ensign flag has the Wales dragon that's on the normal Wales flag that I already showed you. And in the top corner, it has the British flag, okay, the flag of the United Kingdom. Now, what's the chances that Hawaii's flag is designed very similar, because it also has the United Kingdom flag right in the top right left corner, just like the military flag for Wales. And of course, the dragon is looking right at it, right? And the dragon causes fires. And this is where we get the connection of the Maui fires and the Hawaiian flag being seriously tied to the United Kingdom, because it literally has the United Kingdom's flag right on it. So with that out of the way, we're going to look more into this year of the dragon that's coming up. And I just wanted to mention that there is a story of a dragon in Hawaiian culture, and it does have to do with the god Maui. And remember, it was Maui that was where the fire was at. And in this legend, it is Maui who fights against the dragon Kuna in Hawaiian culture. So again, we're getting this connection between in the Hawaiian mythology and Hawaiian legend, we're also going to have these dragons. Now, dragons are a huge symbol, of course, in many cultures, but it's just interesting that the dragon in this case, has a very strong connection to the god Maui, the demigod Maui, and that's the island that was burning. Okay. So again, guys, the Hawaiian became a state in 1959, and the whale's flag was established in 1959 with the dragon. Now, if we go over, and we're going to see that King Charles became king on September 8th, 2022, when his mother died, and he was coronated on May 6th, 2023 this year. But we're going to focus on this day that he became king officially. Well, of course, that wasn't his coronation, but that was the day that his mother died. So we're going to go back to September 8th. If I can find it here. Okay, so we're going to go back to September 8th, the day that King Charles became king. You're going to notice that it had 59 date numerology. 9 plus 8 plus 20 plus 22 equals 59. I just told you that Hawaii became a state in 59, and the whale's flag with the dragon, which he was the prince of, was established in 59. Now, also, the day the Hawaii fire started was also 59 date numerology. So what are the chances that both events, the day he became king and the day of the Maui fires, were both on 59 date numerology, and Hawaii was established in 59, as well as the dragon on the whale's flag? And this number is not arbitrary. There's a reason why this number keeps coming up in connection with this ritual. Well, that's because if we go to Gematria and we type in the number 59, you're going to see that this is a very big number. First of all, guys, the main number here is that dragon equals 59. So what are the chances that King Charles becomes king on a date with 59 date numerology and dragon equals 59? And the day of the Maui fires also had 59 date numerology. Once again, dragon 59. And dragon equaling 59 is not arbitrary because the whale's flag is named after, if you go over back to the whale's flag, you're going to see that the emblem, the red dragon on the whale's flag, has been used since the reign of this guy, Cadwalader. I don't even know how to say this, guys. He was the king. It's been used since his time. And of course, what does his name equal? Well, his name equals 59, like dragon. And of course, the dragon was used on the flag since the time of his reign. And also notice that the phrase world on fire, which I have talked about, is very connected to the Freemasons in past videos. But notice that the phrase world on fire also equals 59, and the phrase red and green, which just happens to be the color scheme of the whale's flag with the dragon, which again was established in 59. And red and green equals 59. Red and green also equals 95, which is the reverse of 59. And not only does that equal, but the queen, who King Charles replaced, also equals 95, like red and green. And again, 95 is the reverse of 59, and the queen died on 59 date numerology, and that's the same day Charles became king. And of course, the Maui fires are completely tied to this. Notice that the Maui, the death of Queen Elizabeth and the beginning of King Charles' reign on 9/8/22 to the Maui fires was exactly 11 months and 1 day, which is 111, which is tied to Hawaii. Notice that Hawaii equals 111, and from the death of Queen Elizabeth and the beginning of King Charles' reign to the Maui fires starting is 11 months and 1 day, like Hawaii equals 111. And if that wasn't enough, let's take a look at more of the 59s. Also, guys, I wanted to point out that Hawaii also has a 3 cipher match to dragons. If you just notice right here, guys, if you type in dragons, the plural, you're going to see that Hawaii is a 3 cipher match to Hawaii, 33, 111, and 39. And that brings me to the other thing I want to talk about is this number 98. Okay, so from the death of Queen Elizabeth and the beginning of King Charles on 9/8, which is tied to the dragon with the 59 date numerology, it was 521 days to the dragon year that starts. I'll show you guys again when the dragon year starts. The year of the dragon starts on February 10th, 2024. So from the beginning of King Charles' reign, from the beginning of King Charles' reign on 9/8 to the beginning of the dragon year, it is 521 days. And why is that an important number? Well, because 521 is the 98th prime. And again, he became king on 9/8. So what are the chances that on 9/8 he becomes king and the 98th prime day later is the dragon year starting? And he is the guy who was the prince of the country with the dragon on their flag. It's not a coincidence. So this 98 is also big because 98 prime days after his 9/8 reign started is the dragon year. And also, guys, if you go from the Maui fire starting to his birthday coming up this year, it's also 98 days. So it's the 98 prime days from the day he became queen to the Maui fire starting, and it's 98 days before his birthday. Okay, so 98 days before his birthday, the fires start. He becomes king the 98th prime days before the year of the dragon on February 10th, and he became king on 9/8. Now in England, you write the date 8/9, but I just want you to notice that King Charles III, if you use the reduction ciphers, King Charles III equals 89 and 98, which can be written both internationally and in the United States. Both dates can be written September 8th, the day he became king, and the day Queen Elizabeth died, can both be gotten from the 8/9 and the 9/8. And again, the dragon year starts in the year 2024, and 89 is the 24th prime. But just notice that Queen Elizabeth's death equals 89, and King Charles III equals 89, and that's the day that this happened on 8/9. And in England, that's the way they write the date, 8/9. So again, not a coincidence, guys, that this whole ritual is also tied to the 98. Now, I also want to point out that not only did he become king, the 98 days, his birthday is 98 days after 8/8 fires, and he became king the 98th prime days before the dragon year, but his birthday is also 89 days before the dragon year this year. So again, guys, it's all tied to this 8/9/9/8. What's the chances that all these numbers connect, especially considering I just showed you what the gematria of King Charles III is in reduction, 98 and 89, just like Queen Elizabeth's death. Okay. So with that number out of the way, we're going to take a look at this movie. Now, this movie is all about a reign of fire, right? A king begins his reign. That's the way they have it spelled, like a king reigns, but it can also be connected to reign. This is probably also connected to Prince, the musician who did the song Purple Rain, but we're not going to talk about that here. But at any rate, notice that this movie is called Reign of Fire. And of course, guys, it's about dragons. And what's amazing about this movie is it came out all the way back in 2002, on July 12th, 2002. Now, what's interesting about this July 12th date is that this was the day that the governor of Hawaii was in, I believe it was New York, before the Maui fires this year. He was in New York on this day, July 12th, and he was talking about something. I can't remember, but he was talking about like a Green Deal or something. And this movie comes out on that same day in history on July 12th. And what's important, why is this 127, July 12th, connected? Well, because remember Pearl Harbor, guys, Pearl Harbor, that was the attack on Hawaii that started the United States involvement in World War II. Well, that happened on December 7th, which can also be written 127, like July 7th, or July 12th is also written 127. So anyway, this Reign of Fire movie comes out in 2002 on July 12th. And again, let's look into this. So I had a measurement up here. So yeah, from the anniversary, I want you guys to notice something that's interesting here, okay? So this was the day that the Reign of Fire movie came out, and this was the day that King Charles became king. If you go from the anniversary, the 2023 anniversary of this Reign of Fire movie, actually no, if you go from the actual release date, it's 20 years and 59 days from the release of Reign of Fire with the dragons in the movie to the beginning of King Charles' reign on 59 date numerology. So it's 20 years and 59 days after the Reign of Fire movie on 59 date numerology. And once again, guys, all the way back to the 59s, because dragon, once again, equals 59. And so does Reign of Fire. What are the chances of that, guys? Reign of Fire, the movie, equals 59 like dragon, and the movie's about dragons. And the movie comes out 20 years and 59 days before the reign of King Charles, which was on 59 date numerology. It's telling us that these dragons are hugely connected, okay? What are the chances of that, guys? So this predictive programming and this synchronization has been in the works for many years. And remember, guys, this was not long after 9/11, okay? I want you guys to notice this had 41 date numerology. But I want to read the synopsis of what this movie's about. Listen to what this says, guys. During construction on London Underground, so this movie literally takes place in London, guys. And I'm comparing this to King Charles, who is now the king in England. Okay, so this movie takes place in London Underground, where workers penetrate a cave and a huge dragon emerges from the hibernation, incinerating the workers with his fire breath. The only survivor is a boy, Quinn Abercrombie, whose mother Karen, the project engineer, is crushed to death while protecting him. The dragon flies out of the underground, and soon more dragons appear. Years later, the world's militaries have failed to stop the spread of the dragon population and have grown increasingly desperate, target the large population areas with nuclear weapons, leaving humans nearly extinct by the year 2020. Look at that, guys. So this movie was about London in 2020. And I'm tying this to the king's coronation, which happened in 2022. Okay? But this is not a coincidence, guys. What are the chances that this takes place in London? And this is perfectly synced with the king's day he became king. 20 years, 59 days. Dragon equals 59. I also say if you don't add the date, guys, it's 20 years, 1 month, and 27 days. And the movie came out on 1/2/7. And it's 20 years, 1/2/7 days, 1 month, 27 days after the release. So either way you do it, it matches up. So with that out of the way, let's make a connection between the Reign of Fire movie and Dragon Ball Z, or what was originally called Dragon Ball. Now, this is a Japanese series that started as you guys can see, it started on Biden's birthday in 1984, November 20th, 1984. And the reason I made this connection mostly is because not only is it tied to the dragon, because you have Dragon Ball Z and Reign of Fire both being about dragons, but look at the connection, guys, between Dragon Ball Z, which equals 112 and 59 like Reign of Fire. The original name of this was called Dragon Ball, which just also happens to have, if you look here, guys, happens to have the 58 like red and green, but also it has the 41. And this is going to be the number I want you guys to focus on, okay? So the name of the series is Dragon Ball, which equals 41. And there's a very big correlation between this number and this ritual with King Charles, and I'm going to show you why. Because if you go from the release date of Dragon Ball, the first release date of Dragon Ball, November 20th, 1984, to the year of the dragon coming up on 2/10/2024, it's 142,327 days, which is the 1681 prime, kind of like the golden ratio is 1618. But just notice that this number, the amount of days between the release of Dragon Ball to the beginning of the dragon year this year, breaks down to the 41st square. And I just told you that Dragon Ball equals 41. Okay? Dragon Ball equals 41. And if you do the date measurement from the very first release of Dragon Ball to the year of the dragon, it breaks down to this number, which breaks down to the 41st square. Sorry, guys. Which is also the 13th prime. And don't forget that Hawaii burned up 13 days before its 64th birthday. But the 41st square, guys, what does that mean? That means that 41 times 41 is 1681, which is the prime of the number between. And just look at the date numerologies. If this wasn't enough for you guys, look at the date numerologies between the two. This is improbable. The 41st square breaks down between the two dates, Dragon Ball and the Dragon year, and both dates, the first release of Dragon Ball had 41 date numerology, and the Dragon year, this coming year, has also 41 days. That is absolutely improbable. Because I told you that it breaks down to the 41st square, the amount of time between breaks down to the 41st square, and then both days have 41 date numerology. Okay, do you guys see how improbable it is? And the fact that Dragon Ball, the name of the show that I'm talking about, also equals 41. Now, if you go from the release of Dragon Ball to the Maui fire starting, it was 14141. And of course, you guys, 14141 is connected with the 41 date numerology of the release of Dragon Ball. And it's also connected to the dragon year, which starts on 4/1 date numerology as well. So again, the 41 square between Dragon Ball and the dragon year, and both days have 41, kind of like September 11th, 2001 had 41 date numerology. And then if you measure from the release of Dragon Ball to the Maui fires, you get 14141, which again is all about the 141. Right? And this is also tied to pi, because you guys know that pi is 3.141. I also want to mention, guys, that it's 38 years after Dragon Ball was released, and fire equals 38. Okay. And of course, I'm measuring to the Maui fires, and fire equals 38, and it's 38 years after Dragon Ball. So anyways, this is the actual series, and then there was later on they released the Dragon Ball Z, and this again ties very closely to Hawaii because it's a Japanese series, and there was a lot of connections between Hawaii and Japan. Okay, and there's probably a lot more to talk about here, guys, but I don't want to make this video long. But if you guys would like to support the channel, please hit the like button on your way out, and also I'll leave a link for donating to my Buy Me a Coffee down below. I really appreciate all those donations. Very helpful while I'm here in Albania. And I appreciate all of you guys so much. Hopefully this decode broke it down very clearly so you guys can see that the Hawaii fires were tied to the dragon and King Charles' coronation. So anyways, guys, take care out there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love.